I'm here at the studios of KALW in San Francisco with Michael Smith. He is founder and president of the American Indian Film Institute. This is a nonprofit media arts center founded in 1979 to foster understanding of the culture, traditions, and issues of contemporary Native Americans. And the American Indian Film Festival kicks off Friday in San Francisco and runs through the 13th. And Michael, is it safe to say that in the Bay Area, there are so many film festivals, and when I think about the American Indian Film Festival, it doesn't get attention. It seems like out of all the festivals, this one gets the least amount of attention.
I think it does not get enough attention. I think in some ways, you think about why Native issues are not thought of as important, and I think a lot of the media doesn't really understand the full complexity of tribal peoples, the number of tribes that are across the country, the types of issues we face. Issues here in the urban area. There's a number of Native people in the Bay Area region, over 100,000 Native people. But, we've been presenting our festival in San Francisco since 1977. And I think the early years we may have gotten some attention from esteemed writers like Judy Stone was one of our champions at the Chronicle. A lot of the people that we used to deal with are no longer there, and there's a whole new, well, maybe not a whole new bunch of people there, but certainly there's a lot of people that don't understand Native issues, especially in arts and entertainment. We've really had very little cooperation with the Chronicle. I think as kind of a token gestures, they did something this year, but this is probably maybe the second time that we've had coverage in the Chronicle Pink section in 34 years of programming in San Francisco. So it's crazy.
And how do you explain this? I mean, Native Americans are some of the most marginalized people in this country, in the media and society. How do you explain the media ignoring this film festival?
I think media generally ignores anything positive with Native people.
Right.
I think our dances, our music, our cultural attributes, our accomplishments, our films, are not covered. I think the biggest coverage we've ever had, with our festival came with two films. We had Broken Rainbow that had a number of Hollywood celebrities as voiceovers, Martin Sheen, Ali McGraw, and media got behind that film, and because of Ali McGraw, because she came, we showed the film Incident at Oglala, which was produced by Robert Redford. And Mr. Redford came to our festival, and he was on the cover of the Pink section. We had a little bit of a story, maybe a paragraph, that he will attend the special screening of the film at the Palace of Fine Arts. And we had every media outlet in town was there. TV, we had a lot of radio people there. There was, 2, 4, 5, 7. They were all there with their cameras in tow.
So the American Indian Film Festival is not going to get widespread attention unless you have a big name white actor.
Unfortunately, that's kind of the name of the game here with San Francisco media. It's unfortunate, and I think it's kind of true with, Indian issues and, Indian events, entertainment type of events. We have in Los Angeles, in Fort Lauderdale, we've been to some events that they have to have the white performer that's somewhat of a celebrity to draw any attention. And, this year we have Buffy Sainte-Marie, who is really one of the most esteemed prolific writers of this country. She wrote the film from Officer and a Gentleman, Up Where We Belong. She is going to be here in San Francisco on November 12 at the Palace of Fine Arts, and no media has called about doing an interview with Buffy Sainte-Marie. This is allegedly Native American Heritage Month, the month of November. Mm-hmm. There's an abundance of stories, abundance of personalities that the Chronicle, the Examiner, could call and say, we'd love to do a story, we'd love to do a profile on this artist. It's not about me. It's not about my direction of the festival. I think there's been some personality issues with the Chronicle especially. We had one writer at the Chronicle said he would never cover the festival. This was last year, with me involved in the festival. And
why?
Because of what he thought I was giving a hard time to the senior editor at the Datebook. And he wrote some mislabeled types of where our programs were at. It's really funny that, on our website it said PFA. Our festival has been at the Palace of Fine Arts for 34 years, and they didn't know where we were at. The Chronicle mentioned we were opening up at the Pacific Film Archives in Berkeley. So small things that can be easily remedied
with going to a website,
and
which takes 10 seconds.
Yeah, they were on our website.
Well, you have to run, and I think I really want to focus on some of these issues because this isn't getting attention. And as you said, when the media actually focus on Native issues, it's usually casinos and alcohol and intertribal disputes. Your films, 120 documentaries, animated shorts, music videos from around the U.S. and Canada, the topics range from Native history and the loss of Native languages to healthcare and addiction. What are some of the other topics that really get you excited, and what are some of the stories you want people to know that you're going to be telling at this festival?
Well, it's a lot of the youth films that we've shown, with our tribal touring program. That's where, I kid our youth in telling them that you're going to be keeping us in business, but it's the truth. We're looking at, when we started our festival back in '75, most of our content was coming from non-Indian filmmakers, with the growth of video in the, when video exploded in the 80s, and now, with technology changes, we're seeing more and more Native people, young people, taking up cameras and telling their stories. A lot of these stories will be hopefully turning into feature films as they're growing. And I think that's, I'm excited about our tribal touring program, which the films will be shown at the Theater 39 at Pier 39 on November 12 and 10 o'clock in the morning. So those are, we have an excellent film also called Of Mice and Men, which is the reinterpretation of the film with two Native actors, and actually produced up in Winnipeg with the blessing of the Steinbeck estate. They're very excited about this interpretation. It's a feature film. Two young Native actors from Argyle Alternative High School in Winnipeg. So there's a lot of excitement, I think, around youth.
And also films showing the realities that youth are facing on reservations. Meth use is off the charts. Sadly, suicide rates are really high. We just don't really hear these stories again in the mainstream media. But you are telling a lot of these stories at the festival.
True. We have a myriad of issues facing our people. And, I think a lot of the stories are, like Canada, U.S., a lot of our stories are similar. We have, issues that there's a cycle of depression that I think has come from the boarding school experience. And I think a lot of the depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, have kind of stemmed from a lot of the negative experiences our Indian people have faced in boarding schools. So a lot of those issues are brought to the front.
Well, Michael Smith, we're going to do whatever we can to try to get you more publicity. And if anyone watching has media contacts, or at least let your media know that they need to cover this. I mean, it's shameful that on the 35th anniversary of the American Indian Film Festival, it's getting hardly any attention and gets the least amount of attention of any film festival. Michael Smith is the founder and president of the American Indian Film Institute. Kicks off on Friday in San Francisco, and it runs through the 13th. And you can find information about the festival right under this video. Michael, thanks so much, and I hope the festival goes really well.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.